Hi, I'm Sandra Louisa from the Let's Paint Club, and this is Sketchbook Diaries, and today I'm painting this, our holiday cottage here in North Wales. Right, so I've just washed the sky in wet into wet, and I'm just tidying some little bits of it up. It's very hot here in Wales today, so it's drying very quickly. And the trick you can do is just tilt the paper a little bit, just to move the paint around a touch. Don't want it to gather too much up that top edge. That should do it. I'm just balancing it on the side of my palette there. I'm quite pleased with that. I'm going to let that dry now. I'll just soften this edge here by the chimney pot. There we go. Okay, just look at these trees, and there's a hillside there in the distance. That could be quite pale. I want this to be blue-green because it is in the distance. And I'll make it slightly wet into wet, I think. It's nice when the picture sort of fades off the edge of the page, so we'll try and remember to do that. Keep it nice and loose as well. Mix a bit of yellow ochre into that. A bit more. It's starting to look very dry. Hinting at what's there. At the moment it's about getting the paint on there, and I can come in later and tidy up, add more tones and details if I wish. But right now I don't want to get too detailed. A touch of yellow ochre there. The field here, it's very so as it's this field closest to us behind the wall here, the grasses look very fluffy and they have a sort of brown tinge to them. Okay. Right, so whilst I'm on that subject, the thing is now just to look at elsewhere in the picture to see where I can see these colours. I'll mix a little touch more of it up. And I can see hints of it in the dry stone walling, so where I had that? In there. There's some moss growing on these stones. Seeing the ones at the front here, they can be a bit stronger. So I've mixed up a grey here. I've mixed up a grey with the Prussian blue sky mix that I had, and added a bit of burnt sienna and some crimson to it, and I think that will be ideal for some of this slate work on the side of the building, but I want to make that a bit damp first so it's slightly wet into wet. I don't want anything to be too harsh, so I'll just make that damp and then just wait a minute or two. I think this area will be our focal point. Let's try that. Yeah, that's fine. And a shadow underneath on roof there. On both sides. The wall's a really interesting colour. It's got some sort of ochre into it. Let's try that. A bit too green. That might be about right. Wash that colour in. Yeah. Get it looking a bit stronger. I want this sort of nice soft mottled look if I can. Good. Okay. Anywhere else where I can see that, I can put that in now as well. Lovely chimney stack. Okay, just looking at the roof here, and slate looks quite grey purpley, so let's add a bit of colour into that. Again, don't want it to be all the same colour. It's nice to have a variation. So again, this is wet into wet. Okay. It's nice to have a variation in colour and tone, so you know, even where you've got some white bits which are still remaining, that's rather nice. Adds a bit of interest. Let's get that chimney. The light is slightly to my left. It's quite early. It's in the morning. Somewhere there's only a slight bit of shuddering on the right hand side at the moment. Good. Okay. So I can use some of this darker purple in here because there's some shadow in here. Put that in for a minute. Until I can blend the paint out so it continues to look soft. A bit too much there. Okay, so I've mixed up sort of a limey green now, quite low on the old lemon yellow, but hopefully I've got some colour there. I'm going to hopefully try and use some sea salt with this to get a nice effect. Let's have a look at this fir tree. Working with relative speed, wet paint on dry paper. Upward movements. Lovely green. Sap green with lemon yellow. Really nice. Quite strong. And then what I think I'll do is I'll get some of this sea salt on here as well. And what that does is it soaks up some of the paint and makes these really lovely little effects. So we'll let that dry, and once it's doing that I can move on around here with some different yellows. Just using the tip of the brush. And then moving towards a more sap sort of green as I head around. Get some more yellow in there. Right, so I've just turned the picture around because the sun's moving around and it's casting a lovely shadow all over the picture, but I'm going to be working here anyway, so hopefully you'll be able to see what it is I'm doing. So I want to just make it a bit darker really, get some tone in that fir tree, so make it stronger. So let's see if we can go in and out. Made it damp first. That's it. Just keep standing back, checking. Let's see if I can remove some paint. I can use some. Oh, I might leave it back there and just scratch it out when it's dry actually, with a paintbrush. Not with a paintbrush, with a craft knife. I'm gonna just stand back and check that. As I say, I might put some tone on that. Make sure that's dark enough. Take some of this paint out, even with a tiny brush when it's almost dry. Just remove some of the strands, get some highlights in there, or I could just brush some out with a craft knife. But apart from that, I think I'm done actually, to be honest. I always say that and then you check it and you think, oh, I'll just do a little bit more over here. Don't want to overplay it. Just being careful not to do too much. I think that could be it. And the other little finishing touches. Do you know what I haven't done? I haven't put any hints of the tiles up here, so I might just put them in. The slate tiles are rather lovely, so I might just put some of those in actually. You can go on forever, but it's working out when the best time to stop is. Right, so just to finish off, I've put some ink work on there just to bring out the tiles, and I've strengthened some of the ink work and the door frame just to draw that as a focus. And I'm just going to finish off by just using this craft knife, hopefully just to scratch out a few lines. I'm just going to shake the camera. And I'll show you that in a tick. There you have it, the finished painting. So you can see I've just taken out with the craft knife to give it some extra texture. Hope you enjoyed watching that, and thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.